Welcome back, everybody. It has been a while. I know I made a bunch of promises there would be more episodes and this and that. It's been super busy. My life's been super busy. I feel like there's an echo, so let me try to turn that down. Okay, I think we're good. So, yeah, my life's been really busy. I did an episode, my first ever guest. We did like an hour and 45 minutes. It was a super dope episode. It was with an active police officer, and at the time we got, his look on, from his side of the fence in comparison to like my story being an addict and all that stuff. So it was like a really good episode. Recorded it. We actually went like 2 hours, but my phone cut off at like hour 45. I don't know why. Probably storage. I got a new phone now though. So yeah, that happened. So then I'm editing it and I go to press play and the audio is fucked, for lack of a better word. Like absolutely fucked. It's all scratchy and whatever, So I sent it to a friend to see if he could clean it up, and he was like, yeah, something happened with your mic, or whatever the case may be. Something happened and the audio was just screwed. So that episode was done for. That was it. And it was a bummer for me because it was such a good episode. So I'm gonna have to try to redo that episode, but you can't really, go in there and talk about the same exact thing. So it is what it is. But I'll definitely have that friend of mine on again and maybe talk about more current events, like what happened in Uvalde and all that stuff. I know it's a touchy subject. I mean, I have kids. That shit is horrible. There's a lot of stuff attacking the police about why they didn't go in there, and there's kind of like a scale when it comes to that, in a sense. Like, so both sides are right in the matter. Like, people are mad that the cops didn't go in there and try to save those children. That's what they signed up for. But then you have the aspect of the cops saying, it's an active shooter, and then it gets turned into a hostage situation. So we don't want to go in there and endanger any more lives. But there's so many different things. In my opinion, they should have went in there. That's what they do. That's what cops do. They had SWAT team. They had all these things there. They should have went in there. I bet you the shooter probably would have shit themselves or ran out of ammo before he even got a chance to hurt another police officer. I mean, the kids that were suffering in there, like, if they would have rushed in, they probably would have been able to save some of those kids. But yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much. It's, it's controversial to say the least, to speak your mind on it and then just get attacked because this person or that person doesn't agree with you. I personally don't give a shit, but I don't want to even touch it because it's touchy. When you have kids, that kind of thing is touchy. And they have all these drills, even in California. Like, there was a bunch of prank phone calls of kids saying there's going to be shootings at their school and all this and all that. And I'm glad they're at least taking it serious. I read a story the other day that a 11-year-old kid got arrested in Florida for calling in a fake threat. And that's how it has to be attacked. As shitty as it is, that's how it's going to have to be handled, because these kids can't think that it's okay to play a prank like that with all the shootings and massacres that have happened. Like, it's just attack it like that. I mean, I totally agree with that. So yeah, moving off that, bunch of exciting stuff happening in the world, happening in my world. I got a motorcycle again, so I'm pretty stoked on that. Got myself a Yamaha Bolt to commute during the summer. It's so freaking hot where I work, so the first, when I bought it a couple months ago, I bought it in February, end of February, and it was still cold. And I remember riding to work, like, because I was all excited, riding my bike to work, and I froze my ass off. Like, my hands were numb for like 2 hours after getting to work. My feet were freezing. Like, I was like, okay, maybe I should wait a couple weeks. And then, of course, I didn't. I went a few more times, and it'd be like hit or miss. Like, okay, it wasn't so bad today. Okay, and let me put this many layers on and this many layers, and I'll be good. And it was always just my hands. My hands would be freezing. I'd put 3 pairs of gloves on, stick a cotton glove on top too, and no matter what, like, your hands are toast, frozen. And so I went through that for a couple weeks, and then would drive my car in between, and then it started finally warming up, and like the last like month it's been like awesome, like 60 degrees in the morning, like just cruise to work, comfortable. It also like wakes you up too, like hopping on a bike at 3 in the morning to go to work, like that definitely wakes your ass up. So I've been having a blast riding that thing, of course spending a bunch of money on it and making it look the way I want it to look, because I love tinkering with shit like that. I bought a truck. I bought a Silverado. Gonna be kind of like a project truck, just for use around the house and whatever. It's lowered right now. It's actually too low, so I ordered stuff to lift it back up. Not stock high. It's still gonna be lowered because I do want to have a lower truck. A couple months it'll be sweet. So like I've been tinkering with that, like put a whole stereo in it, and it's fun. I don't know. I like doing that. Anytime you get something new, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. You do everything right off the bat that you want that thing to have. So I did that with the truck and the motorcycle, and now I'm looking for another commuter car, just to have another car just in case, because the truck actually has a re-gear transmission, so it's actually not that bad on gas, but still I don't want to drive a big old truck to work all the time if I have to, or when, by the time winter comes I'll have another commuter. So yeah, that's been fun stuff in my life, and finally got my sprinklers fixed at my house, which was been a freaking nightmare. So that's awesome. Don't have to deal with that freaking watering ourselves anymore. Yeah, I got another tattoo. Got tattooed for the first time in like 4 years, mainly because I spent all my money on drugs and not saved them up for tattoos. And so yeah, now I'm back on that train again. Of course, my tattoo artist is booked like 5 months in advance, so I had my appointment like 4 weeks ago, and my next appointment's in September. But yeah, I'm gonna start going berserker with that. That'll be fun. Need to get my back done. Gotta get my legs finished. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff. My kid's last day of school is today, so now I have to deal with him being on summer vacation. Luckily, he's starting football towards the end of the month, and that'll be fun to see. He is so into football, like it's almost to the point of being annoying. Like his my brother-in-law, his uncle-in-law, my sister's husband, he's like a walking ESPN app. Like you ask him anything about any kind of sport and he will give you the date, how many balls that guy caught in that game, how many footsteps he took, how many drinks of Gatorade he took on the sideline, if he went to the bathroom during halftime. He'll tell you any stat all the time. So, and like my oldest son is like being like him. Like he's watching like all these old school videos, and it's really cool because I'm like, whatever, like if he's into football, that's awesome. I love football too. I'm not like that crazy into it. I love watching the games, and I know the guys and I know the stats and stuff for the current season or whatever. But yeah, my son's like full blown into football. Loves all these different teams, loves all these different players. It was funny by the end of the season, the Buffalo game's KC game, that was crazy overtime, like thriller game, where Buffalo screwed up and gave Mahomes 15 seconds on the clock. I actually think I talked about it on one of his podcasts, but so that made my oldest son a Buffalo Bills fan. He was all about the Buffalo Bills. And, of course I gave him crap. I'm a Raiders fan. And so I'm giving him crap. And then like 2 days later, they make the deal with Davante Adams. Now Davante Adams is on the Raiders. And then sure enough, my son, oh, I'm a Raiders fan now. I wasn't really a Bills fan. I was always a Raiders fan. And I'm like, yeah, because, they got Davante Adams because that's his favorite wide receiver. And, yeah, so now he's back on the silver and black train, so that's good. But anyways, yeah, so he's like super into football. Like we play catch all the time. Like I buy him the wide receiver gloves. Like he's all about it. And honestly, the kid's got good hands, and he's fast, and he's like, from what I can tell, he's really competitive with it. And so he's been doing the spring training stuff, and then I believe it's at the end of the month, they start like actual practices. And I'm interested, and I'm interested to see how good he is, or what the coach says, or like what they put him at. I know in like starting football, they don't throw a lot, so he's probably going to be running back. But he's got little fast feet too, and he's small for his age, but he's quick. So I think he'll be fine. But it's like so he's starting this, journey of being a football player. And I tell him, I'm like, it's hard work. Like, if you want to, like, let's say you want to be in the NFL, like every little kid, of course, wants to be a professional sports player, whatever it may be. So it's like, you want to be in the NFL. You have to understand the severity of hard work that goes into that to be a professional football player. Not only do you have to bust your ass in high school, I feel like is the first time it gets serious because they make them work out. They're on a schedule. They do practices, 2-a-days, all that stuff. And if you can handle that kind of pressure, all it does is prepare you for college. And then college is probably 10 times worse. I have no idea if it is, but it's probably 10 times worse when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, like, I'm telling him all this. I'm like, it's hard work. And he's like, I know it's going to be hard and this and that. And I'm like, there's going to be times where you hate it and you want to quit. And those are the times where it kind of will make you realize if this is something you really want, or if you're going to take a step back and figure something out for your life, or whatever the case may be. But of course, as a parent, you have those dreams like, oh, my son is super into football. Like, I need to make sure I push him in the right ways to make him succeed at the sport and potentially get a full scholarship to college or whatever, and make his appropriate journey towards being in the NFL. Like, that would be absolutely insane. Like, I don't even know how, like it's crazy thinking about it. I know every parent has those kind of dreams and stuff for their children, but like that'd be actually nuts. Like, if my kid 10 years from now, was playing in college, and 2 years from then he's in the NFL or whatever the case, like, that would be insane. I don't even know how I would handle that as a parent. Like, that's like the biggest dream come true in my eyes, especially with my, like me, I didn't go to college. I think my middle brother went to college for film school, which is his profession now, but that was more of like a trade school, I believe. My sister, I don't think my sister went to college. My wife's going to college. My wife's super smart, so I mean, if he's getting brains anywhere, he's getting them from her. But yeah, so he's starting football. That'll be super fun. And then I got my 4-year-old, which will most likely still be going to the babysitter during the summer or however that works. I do have some days coming off. It's always fun having him. Always having fun having the 4-year-old around because he's just a ball of energy. But there are those days where I don't want to do a damn thing. I just want to lay in bed and fiddle on my phone or watch Game of Thrones or watch whatever's out. Speaking of what's out right now, Obi-Wan Kenobi started 2 weeks ago. Episode 3 is actually today as I'm filming this. It's on Disney Plus, but I have to wait till the family gets home because that's our make dinner and watch show on Wednesdays. And Miss Marvel came out as well today, so we have to watch that. But Obi-Wan Kenobi is amazing so far. Both episodes have been freaking sweet. We finally get to see what Darth Vader was like in between episode 3 and episode 4 and all the terror he caused. Like, there's a scene in the second episode, he just walks down the street and he's just snapping necks with the Force. Snap, snap, like, doesn't give a shit. And like, no one's ever seen that. So it's like awesome that Disney is actually showing us like what he actually was like, just ruthless, a killer, didn't care, would kill anybody in his way to get what he wanted. And the one thing that sucked was like in episode 2, I was telling my brother this, it was hard to see like Obi-Wan Kenobi so weak, like, and powerless. Like, they just had the gnarliest battle in episode 3, and of course it's like 15 years past or whatever the time span is, but like, he just lost touch with the Force. So it's going to be really cool to see how they build the show up and fill in little plot holes here and there and show how ruthless and crazy Vader was. So that's going to be awesome. Miss Marvel, I'm not too sure about it. I think it'll be cool. Like, Miss Marvel is, she can grow herself big. She's got stretchy arms, like stretchy limbs and stuff. But I feel like that's not the way they're going about it in the MCU. So we'll see how she gets her powers. I think it's from these like bracelet things or something like that. So we'll see. And yeah, there's a lot of fun shows on right now. And right now, currently, we're rewatching Parenthood. If you've never seen, if you've never seen Parenthood, the show Parenthood, I believe it was ABC or NBC show. It's over now. But if you never watched that show, go on Hulu and watch that show. Like, it is so spot on with how family matters happen and get dealt with, and the wave they make across the whole family and consequences and stuff. Like, the show is just like spot on. So like, me and the wife are rewatching that right now. That's like our show we put on to go to sleep to. So yeah, go watch that, Parenthood. It's on Hulu. They got all the seasons. It's a super good show. Last night we watched Interstellar. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since it came out a long time ago. Man, that movie is a mind fuck, but it's so good. It was so good. Yeah. Anyways, it's also it's fight week, UFC fight week, UFC 276. I actually have the fight card right here because there was a few that I forgot. We're gonna do Nick's picks right now on these fights. So in the main event, we got Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka, Valentina Shevchenko versus Taylor Santos, Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Yeah, her name's impossible. That first fight with them was insane. She looked like a damn Joanna looked like a Klingon after that fight with that fucking baseball hematoma on her head. We got Rogerio Bonatorin versus Manel Kape, and Jack Della Maddalena versus Ramazan Aviv. The prelims are pretty good. They got the Andre Fialho and Jake Matthews. That's a pretty cool fight. The early prelims are a few people I don't know. I know Kyung Hun King. That guy's good. He'll be good. So in the first fight opening up, the Maddalena versus Aviv, I think Aviv will probably take this one. It'll probably be by knockout, in my opinion. He's got good hands. He usually wins with his hands, KO or TKO. So if I was gonna bet, I'd bet on Aviv. Manuel Kape is probably gonna win that fight, but kind of toss up. Bontorin is really good. He's an up and comer too, so it's possible that Kape doesn't get that done. Now the Zhang Weili versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she, I think, is going to be coming for blood. I think Joanna she's at that point where she has to make a comeback. She has to get a win and get herself back towards title contention. Now, with saying that, I think Zhang Weili is in a similar spot. Like, she knows that she can be champion again if she fought Rose again. Like, it's kind of a toss-up, a 50-50 shot at who's going to win that. The first fight, of course, Rose knocked her out with the head kick. And the second fight was a battle that Rose won. So I think they're both going to come out like ready to go. Like, I think it's going to be a firefight. Whoever's hands are better that night is who's going to get the win. Whoever's hands and feet are better. I'm going to go with Joanna on this one. I think Joanna has been waiting for another fight, and I think she's ready to take out Zhang, and we'll see what happens. I think Joanna gets it done. With the co-main event, we got Taylor Santos. I've only seen a few of her fights. I know she's kind of on a streak right now, but for Valentina Shevchenko, there's no one else for her to fight in that division. So it's like whoever's, hasn't got a loss in the last 6 months or is on a little bit of a streak, like, you're going to fight the title. You're going to fight for the title. So for me, like, Valentina is just kind of like, set him up, I'll knock him down kind of thing. If Santos can beat Shevchenko, that'd be the craziest upset. That'll be like Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena upset. So I don't think it's going to happen. Valentina Shevchenko is the baddest woman on the planet besides Amanda Nunes. And even in that argument, I think it would be an awesome fight to see a Nunes and Shevchenko. Yeah, Valentina will take that all day in my eyes. Now, this main event in the light heavyweight division, Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka. Yuri is a bad motherfucker. He is young. He's an up-and-comer. The dude's striking is similar to someone we know in that division, Mr. Bones Jones. He's really out of nowhere, unorthodox, throws stuff from weird angles. If you watch the knockout of Dominic Reyes, like, he threw that spinning back fist or back elbow just out of instinct and a weird angle. Dominic wasn't expecting it, and boom, lights out. So that kind of stuff. And that's not the only knockout that Yuri has like that. I think Glover is one of those, old faithful kind of guys. Like, he's going to go out there and give it his all every single time. The dude is past his prime, but at the same time, he's so tough and has so much experience that he's a danger no matter what. Like, when he fought Blachowicz, like, I had Glover having a pretty good shot at winning that. Fucking fly. So this fight is kind of up in the air for me, but I think Yuri's going to get it done. I think his speed and stamina and athleticism is going to be too much for Glover to handle. Now, if it goes to the ground, there's a chance that Glover will be able to wrap him up and grab him and get him in something and submit him or put him to sleep or whatever the case. But if Yuri can keep it standing, I think Yuri gets the job done. But still, Glover has good hands too, and he's got awesome power. But in my opinion, I think Yuri gets it done. I think he'll be able to finish that fight, either KO or TKO, and we'll have a new lightweight champion. They've been edging us for a while on these UFC fights. There hasn't been like any good UFC cards, like name wise, and quite a while. So this UFC 276 is going to be, the big fight for the next couple months. Or for this month, and then next month we got the July card, which is going to be insane. I'm trying to pull it up right now. Where we at? So 275. I know they already announced it. There it is. So UFC 276, which is the International Fight Week card in Vegas. That's the July card. They always make it a big card. This card is fucking sick. Israel Adesanya versus Cannonier. That fight's going to be insane. We finally get Volkanovski and Max Holloway 3, which is going to be an amazing fight. If Volkanovski can beat Holloway, then you can't talk shit anymore. He's the featherweight champ. In stone, set in stone, that ain't changing. Sean Strickland, who is a fan favorite, that guy's hilarious, versus Alex Pereira. That'll be a good fight. We got Lauren Murphy, who's always fun to watch, versus good old Miesha Tate. And then we got Pedro Munoz versus Sean O'Malley. And that is definitely Sean O'Malley's greatest opponent so far. If he beats Pedro Munoz, then we already know he's the real deal, but this is like top 10 ranked opponent. To the moon for him after that. So that card's gonna be super fun. I can't wait for that one. And other news, we have oh my gosh, what the hell is this? There's so much fun stuff gonna be going on this summer, and so many things have been announced that, like, when it comes to like watching your favorite shows and new shows coming out and the new movies coming out, like we're gonna have like too much to watch. You got Black Adam coming out this summer. You got Jurassic World Dominion coming out in a couple weeks. Netflix is developing a Ghostbuster series. There was something else. Oh, they just greenlit Joker 2 with Joaquin Phoenix, so that's going to be amazing. You got all the Marvel movies coming out, all the Star Wars movies that are coming out, and shows. It's going to be a sweet summer. Tons of movies that are going to be awesome to see. Tons of fight cards that are going to be awesome to see. It should be a good summer in 2022. I'm excited. I am going to try my very, very best to do these episodes once a week. It's been tough just with being so busy and having to get things done, and work's been nuts. Like, we always have these schedule changes where I got to work 14 hours a day and this and that. So you come home and you're tired. You don't want to do a podcast, even though as much as you'd like to, it's hard to do. So Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I actually I had the TikTok set up, and I finally got it set up, and I'm posting little videos here and there. Me messing around at work, me at home, whatever the case may be. The TikTok is at Laugh Tomorrow, so make sure you guys go give that a follow. Go like the posts I got on there. It's kind of be more personal, but I'll probably put clips of the show of podcast on there as well, and on the Instagram. We'll laugh about this tomorrow. Make sure you guys start tuning in. I know it's been a minute, so it's kind of hard to believe me, but you know, I'm a normal person with a normal life, and this isn't what I do, you know, for a living. As much as I love it to be what I do for a living, it's just not in the cards to do that. So give me a follow, subscribe. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm going to try to post podcasts as much as possible. I know this episode wasn't too long, but I just wanted to at least get in here, say hi, talk about a little bit of things here and there. I love you guys. Keep following me. And as always, we'll laugh about this tomorrow.